No, don't do this to me, please. What exactly is going on? I don't understand.
Sorry. Kaodili, my mother doesn't approve of this relationship. I've tried my best. She's the only parent I have left. I want you to know that I love you, but I just can't go against her wishes.
This conversation that had ended her 4-year relationship kept playing on an endless loop in her mind, like a cruel song. She couldn't stop hearing it. As Kaodili sat on the edge of her bed, staring at the blank wall in front of her. His words had shattered her. She had expected many challenges in their relationship, but never imagined it would be his mother's disapproval that would tear them apart. On that day, she had sat there, frozen in the restaurant, as Emeka went on and on, explaining how he couldn't bear to hurt his mother.
She wants me to marry someone else. See, I know it's unfair, but I can't ignore her. You understand? Don't you?
But how could she understand? Kaodili had built her life around this relationship. She had supported Emeka through tough times, celebrated his success, and imagined a future with him. Just like that, he was walking away, leaving her to do what? To pick up the pieces. No. As she sat alone in her bedroom, she replayed that moment, feeling the same pain over and over. The emptiness was unbearable. For weeks after the breakup, Kaodili became withdrawn all day. She became totally a shadow of herself. She barely slept, always on her bed. Memories of her time with Emeka on a replay. Their weekend trips to the beach, the late night conversations, the date nights, the way he used to make her laugh when she had a rough day. It all felt like it belonged to another life. A life she no longer had. Nze's kitchen to the rescue. The talk of the town eatery. Everybody around wanted to have a taste from there. Kaodili's father's pride and joy, known for his delicious dishes and warm atmosphere. Her father, Nze, had started the business when she was a teenager, and it had become a central part of their family life. Now, more than ever, Kaodili clung to it as her only source of stability. Each morning, she would wake up, put on her plain oversized clothes and head to the restaurant, where she spent hours overseeing the kitchen, managing the staff and serving customers. The familiar smells of jollof rice, pepper soup, nkwobi and other nice dishes oozing out offered a little relief, but it wasn't enough to fill up the vacuum in her heart. Her father, Nze, noticed the change in her. He watched her with concern as she moved through the restaurant, quieter than she used to be. Her usual spark was dim. One evening, as they were having dinner at home, Nze asked, "Kaodili, when will you find a husband? You are 30 now. Lately, you've not been happy, and I want to see you happy, with a good man who can take care of you." Kaodili felt the pressure from her father, though this wasn't the first time he had asked such question. But now, almost after her breakup, it felt like a weight pressing down on her.
Papa, I'm fine.
I know you are fine, but you don't have to do everything alone. Our people value family, and I want to see you with someone who will honor you, respect you, and build a family with you. Kaodili pushed her food around on her plate. She knew he meant well, but the pressure to find a husband, to move on from Emeka, felt unbearable. She hadn't even begun to process the pain of her breakup, and already her father was talking about her future as if It was something she could simply rearrange, like the tables in the restaurant. "I'm not ready, Papa," she said finally. "You can't wait forever, Kaodili. I know you are hurting, but life goes on. You have to think about your future." Kaodili knew her father was right, but the thought of opening herself up to someone new felt impossible. How could she even begin to trust again after what had happened with Emeka? The fear of being hurt again, of going through the motions of meeting someone, falling in love, and hoping for a different outcome felt exhausting. She quietly left the dinner to her room. She laid on her bed and allowed herself to break down. She had always prided herself on her strength, on her ability to handle whatever threw her way. But this was different. Losing Emeka felt like losing a part of herself, a part she wasn't sure she could ever get back. Days turned into weeks, and Kaodili fell into a routine that numbed the pain, but did little to heal it. She woke up, went to work, managed the restaurant, and came home. Her once vibrant personality dulled. Her laughter was nowhere to be found. She became totally invisible, not only to those around her, but to herself. She stopped caring about her appearance, wears oversized clothes that hid her figure. Her hair was always tied back. She wore glasses that seemed to shield her from the world. She shied away from social events and prioritized her own company. And so life went on. But for Kaodili, time seemed to stand still. She was stuck in a moment she couldn't escape, a moment where love had betrayed her. She was left to pick up the pieces. What Kaodili didn't know as she sat in her quiet room was that life had more in store for her. This heartbreak, though deep and painful, was not the end of her story. It was only the beginning of a journey she had yet to embark on. A journey of healing, of transformation, and of rediscovering the courage of love again. And though she couldn't see it now, beyond her sadness, beyond the walls she had built around her heart, there was hope, there was light, and it was waiting for her just around the corner. Months had passed since Kaodili's world had fallen apart. She had spent the better part of a year existing on autopilot. But one morning, something changed. Kaodili stood in front of the mirror, staring at her reflection. The tired lines on her face, the dullness of her skin, and the way her once bright eyes seemed hollow. She had grown so used to seeing this version of herself that she had almost forgotten what she looked like before the heartbreak. That morning, for reasons she couldn't fully explain, Kaodili felt an unfamiliar urge. A quiet voice inside her that whispered, "It's time to change." She had been in this dark place for too long. Something inside her was beginning to stir. Maybe it was the realization that time was slipping by, or maybe it was her father's words echoing in her mind. Whatever it was, Kaodili knew she couldn't continue like this. She took a deep breath, as if bracing herself for something big. Without allowing herself to second guess, she grabbed her phone and booked an appointment at the beauty salon. It was her first step toward reclaiming herself, though at the time, it didn't feel that memorable. When she got to the salon, she became nervous. She hadn't been here for a long time, and now she barely recognized herself in the large mirrors on the walls. "What style do you want today, ma'am?" the stylist asked. "Please do whatever you think will look good," she said. The stylist was surprised because Kaodili is that customer that always comes with a style inspiration. So her response sounded so odd. But then she smiled. When she was done making her hair, what she saw took her breath away. The woman staring back at her had a totally different look, with her face popping. It wasn't just that she looked beautiful, it was that she felt beautiful. She felt like a piece of herself had returned, a piece she thought had been lost forever. After the salon, Kaodili went shopping for new clothes. Another thing she hadn't done in ages. She picked out a few outfits that brought out her figure. Not overly flashy, but enough to make her feel good. Each step of this transformation felt like a small victory, a step toward reclaiming her sense of self. When she returned to the restaurant that afternoon, as soon as she walked through the doors, heads turned, compliments flowed. What happened? You look so different. What brought this on? Her sister asked. I just thought it was time for a change. It's about time, yeah? I'm so happy to see you like this. It's like you are you again, Emeka said. The warmth in her sister's voice filled Kaodili with a sense of pride. She wasn't all the way back to her old self, but she was on her way. That night, when she got home, she stood in front of the mirror in her room again, admiring her reflection. This time, she saw more than just a woman who had been hurt. She saw strength. She saw someone who was willing to rebuild herself, no matter how long it took. In the days that followed, Kaodili continued to embrace her new look, but more importantly, her new mindset. She started to take more pride in her appearance, wearing clothes that made her feel good and letting her head down more often. Her confidence grew, and it wasn't long before others began to notice. One afternoon, while overseeing the restaurant, Kaodili noticed someone new outside, across the street. At the building site, a man was overseeing the construction. He was tall, with a broad smile. There was something about him that drew her in, though she couldn't explain why. For the next few days, she found herself looking at the construction site more often than usual, looking forward to see the man. The man, always hard at work, never noticed her. One day, as she was tidying up the counter, a man walked up to her. She raised her face up to attend to the customer. Her heart skipped a beat, frozen for a moment, unsure of what to do. She quickly composed herself. Hello, welcome to Nze's kitchen. What can I get for you today? I've been working on the building site across the streets, and I've heard great things about this place. I thought I would come and try it for myself, the man said. Well, you've come to the right place. Our jollof rice is a customer favorite, she said, trying to sound impressive.